Alright everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. Before I get to that, I want to say I'm sorry. I have not been on this channel in months. I don't even know if I've been here in 2025 yet. So I apologize for that. But today we're doing something a little bit different. I've never done anything like this before, but I've always wanted to talk music here and do stuff music related. So, what I'm assuming is going to be an incredible album officially has dropped. Now it drops the 7th. It's still the 6th here, but it's the 7th elsewhere. So, Hymns and Dissonance by Whitechapel is officially out, and I'm super excited to give this a listen now. I have already listened to the singles that were released, which I believe were Hymns and Dissonance and A Visceral Retch. We're still going to listen to them again anyway, just so I can get a few notes down about them, and so that I can basically give the album a more natural rating, because I want to listen to it all in full rather than have it, chunked up into different little sections, because then it's not really the full experience. So we're going to listen to this whole thing start to finish. I'm going to pause whenever I feel like there's something notable, because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot to talk about here. The singles have already been amazing. Now it's time to put the whole thing together. Let me know if you guys like this type of content. I'd love to do more things like this in the future. Now let's get started here. First song, Prisoner 666. I've heard some parts of this on Instagram because they've been posting like 40-second parts of every song leading up to this, but I've only heard a few parts of a few songs, not too many. I don't think I've listened to any of Nothing Is Coming for Any of Us yet, so very excited to give this whole album a listen. This is a long way to spend a Thursday night, but I'm very excited. Alright, let's get started. I can't say I was expecting that. It's an interesting start. Sorry, I didn't realize how loud the music was compared to me. There, okay. It was so loud you guys would not be able to hear anything I was saying. Sorry, I had to fix it. That's what I was doing when I was looking away for a second. This is a very good lead into an album. This is a good way to start an album. I like this. That's a good kick in. The surround sound going as well. The drums are very nice so far. Just when you're having an introduction like that, if you start slow, you have to crank it up after. The volume change made miles of difference. One example I could think of that's always bothered me is like Guttural Slug. I think it might be Hacksaw Surgery. I don't remember. There's a song where it like leads in, but it gets quieter. I don't like that. This is a very nice intro.
Welcome to a vacation with so much more.
Okay. I didn't account for the fact that there was probably going to be ads here. Okay. Just quit your yapping. Interesting. It leads in with a very breakdown-esque sound, and rather than you think like a little bit of maybe a fast-paced kickoff after an intro like that, but it's a very interesting pace. I like it. I've always loved the way he closes in with his screams there. Usually I would try to do my own, but as I think I said at the start, I've been sick lately. I don't think it's going to sound very good if I try to scream while I'm sick. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to go well. Nice. blast beat section. I'm gonna go back, so I want to get the whole blast beat experience. I like how there's, if you listen to the background, a bit of like a melodic guitar almost going on. It kind of feels like it has an Egyptian sound almost. Like, I like the way that sounds. It contrasts with the vocals pretty well. Anyway, blast beats are coming up. My favorite thing in the world. Let's get that going. What's a solo in the back? Not really though. Just ambiance. Ooh, there's a solo. Oh. Every time you think the solo's over, it just adds on another section. It started with that very low shredding, then got into some medium, still pretty fast, and then it got really high, almost like a dive bomb in there. It's very, very nice sound. I think we're going to more blast beats now. Nah. Oh, there they are. There it is. Ooh. I was not expecting the high fries on that. Back into that chorus kind of thing. Nice feel here. Looks like a circle pit type thing going on. Ooh, double kicks coming in right there. Breakdown. Ooh. The guitar. What is a very interesting palm muting, like that was a cool, like it was hard not to focus on the extended growls going on. Very nice there, but the guitar had a very cool palm mute thing going on. I want to listen to that again. I think it might be a pick slide even. I'd say it's a very cool sound. I think that's the whole, oh. Not a huge transition, but it is nice. This is one of my favorite songs. I already know what's gonna happen here. Another ad break first, though. A bunch of movies I'm never gonna watch. Yeah, I already know what to expect with this song, but I did like that there was a noticeable break, but to where it still sounds like a transition. I'm hoping we have good flow for the rest of the album. I see there is like an interlude type thing here, I assume, which is nice. That usually means the album's gonna flow pretty well. That was a very good song. Every time you thought one section would be over, they ramped it up in another way. I thought the breakdown was over, and he added in some Obviously, it's hard to analyze lyrics when you're listening to deathcore unless you have them in front of you. But it was a very good song. Blast beat sections were nice. That was a pretty good solo. I haven't really listened to a ton of Whitechapel out. Like, I listened to these singles at least 30 times each. Well, at least 20 times each since they came out. Very, very good songs. But I've never been used to Whitechapel having like insane solos. That was a very nice solo to hear. Back to Hymns and Dissonance. I love this song, but I wanna I guess we'll do some commentary on it. That's my favorite thing to ever do. Combine a lengthy guttural type scream with blast beats. You cannot top that in my book. It's just perfect. And then some more blast beats. I'm actually just gonna have this thing enabled so I can turn it down when I want to comment. Mainly just for this song and a Visceral Retch, since I already know what to expect. This song is just so good though. The chorus, the verses, the constant drums. The drums are good throughout this entire song. More blast beats. More blast beats. Just doesn't get better than that. Tremolo in the back. Oh, I didn't even have it up all the way. I just like scared myself. I was checking if the volume was all the way up, and then I turned up my headphones and it was not all the way up. This song is so good. This part's pretty fun. It almost feels like it's like an anthem, like a chant that you could do. I like the way that it contrasts between the lows and the highs here. Solo. More blast beats. Just so many good blast beat sections in this song. This might be my most listened song of the year. I'm gonna check while I'm listening to it since I've already listened to this. Okay. As of now, this is my number 6 most listened to song of the year. Back into the chorus. Such a good chorus. I wonder where Visceral Retch is. Okay, this is number 6 and Visceral Retch is at number 19. And breakdown section. High for ice creams are unbeatable. Until gutturals come in. Beautiful breakdown. I know it's kicks, but I'm gonna do it with my hands anyway. Such a good song. Oh, transition.
At AT&T, we know enough in life isn't...
Dude, we're gonna have an ad after every single song. This is gonna be a long day. What is this? Okay, I'm skipping this ad. Alright, we're back. Ah, oh, no transition. Okay. Always a good way to start a song. Trying to give it that, like, evil feeling. You can tell. Okay, this album loves its blast beats. That's all 3 songs so far. That's amazing. A very like breakdown-esque guitars going on with blast beats in the background. And in the start of the section, obviously it had that very extended scream, but that's a very, very nice section. I don't hear stuff like that very often. That's a very nice sound. I loved the layered screaming there. That's a very useless comment. I feel like while I'm recording this, I'm trying to think, okay, how am I gonna avoid from being that one person that just pauses every 5 seconds and adds nothing? I'm trying to add some useful commentary here. More blast beats. I told you I was sick. There comes the coughing. Okay, some echo effect going on. Wow. More amazing kicks. back into the blast beat, so we've got a solo going. Almost like a nice like harmony, not like a full solo, but or not like a shredded solo, but it was a nice guitar section with even more blast beats in this song. Okay, just gonna kick right back in. Seems like a build up to a breakdown. There it is. I like the way that it built up to it, but also had a very, like, I was not expecting it to come in at that exact moment. And of course, in typical Whitechapel fashion, it's Phil just coming at the most insane time, with the most insane scream you've ever heard. Like, you probably saw my face. I was genuinely shocked when that came in, because I just wasn't expecting it. Very nice, as usual. This album's been very consistent in that field. And Visceral Retch is now on. Of course, like I said, I've already listened to this song. Not gonna be much reaction going on for this one. Intro scream incoming. I love the way the guitars work in this album. Some nice songs to circle pit to in this album. This one and I think the start of Prisoner 666 both have that feel to them. There's that thing I was talking about again, where he kind of closes and brings it from the high to the low. Very good song. Such a good song. I just wish I had more to say about it, but I've listened to it so many times, but I'm just like used to it now. Honestly, maybe my favorite deathcore vocalist out there. Like, Joe Bad is great, Will Ramos is great, but I mean, every time he does that, it just sounds amazing. Breakdown section, here we go. Next song is only like a minute long, so I'm interested for that. Oh, sorry, not breakdown, more blast beats. There it is. Alright, here, Infernis is next. Very short song. Obviously gonna be an interlude, most likely. So maybe this is when the B-sides start on the vinyl. Okay, we got some throat singing going. Can't say I was expecting that, but I guess it makes sense in the grand scheme of the album. I love the percussion going on with this song. Okay, that was a very good transition. I was saying it at the start, I was hoping this album would have some good transitions in it. Seamless transition. Now we're on to Hate Cult Ritual. And I try to cut it off right before the song kicks in, because I could tell it was about to. Because I don't want to miss anything. So we're going to go back a few seconds here. Very, very strong start off to this song, that's all I can say. I didn't mean to go back. We have more blast beats. Like, I love blast beats, but there's just so many blast beats in this album. It's not even funny anymore. Actually, it is funny now. Okay. So just an absolutely lethal solo coming out of nowhere. This song is insane. It kicks in out of nowhere and it's just like a very good transition. Slams us right into blast beats. And then a crazy solo appears out of nowhere. Much different than I believe the solo I commented on earlier was the Prisoner 666 one, but it might have been Diabolic Slumber, I'm not 100% sure, but a very different solo. This one was all very high up there on that fretboard. Probably all on the high couple of strings as well. I'm gonna give that another listen. I wasn't fully in tune there. That was a nice solo from what I heard. I think I missed some of it playing back again, but it's fine. Very nice solo. I don't know if I like it as much as the other one, just because it was a bit abrupt. Not super. It's one of those things where, like, is it that composed or is it more focused on just playing fast. It's hard to tell. Like, it obviously didn't sound bad by any means, but I just don't know if it was as good as some earlier solos on this album. More blast beats. I know I was saying stuff about the lyrics earlier, about how you can't really analyze the lyrics, but I can tell with this album, they're taking a very different direction. With oh shoot, I forget what it's called. Hold on, pause. I'm completely blanking on what their other recent album was called. The Valley, right? I don't know how I forgot that. Which had actually like meaningful lyrics, and then this one just goes into the generic metal is evil thing. I don't know. I'm not gonna complain because like good lyrics make a song better, but they don't necessarily make or break a song, especially when it comes to something like deathcore, where unless you're listening to like Pain Remains, you're not really listening for the lyrics. Like, you might still learn the lyrics or understand them, but like you're not listening to it for the lyrics as much as just for the actual feel of it. Another solo section right here. All tremolo. Never mind. I love High Fries. I just, like, because a lot of the time when it comes to High Fry ice creams, they're either adding to a section or, like when it comes to, like, sometimes there's good choruses that are with them, or they can come in at a random time, and they just add so much to the energy of the song. Like, you have, like, your average, like, mid-range fry ice creams that you kind of hear all the time, and you hear a lot of lows, so at some point it just kind of becomes normal. But the highs are just so nice, because you don't see them coming a lot of the time. I'm a little bit too far back. My bad. Nice groove going on here. So, like, all I heard there was, like, Holy Water and Unholy Daughter or something, like, I don't know. I feel like there could be so much better, like, lyrics going into this, but I get, like, you kind of can't expect anything else, so the album is literally called Hymns and Dissonance. I guess, what else do you expect from it? I will say this song does get a bit repetitive, but there's a lot of good things going to it. It's just it's a little difficult to differentiate the songs on this album, like, and I feel like this is an issue that a lot of deathcore albums run into. There's not a lot that do a great job at making each and every song stand out, which is why there's not a lot of deathcore albums I've listened to in full. Like, that's why when it comes to deathcore albums, like, there's always the first couple that come to mind because they're the ones that I've listened to in full, that I feel like all the songs have their own energy to them. But I'm not saying these are bad songs, and I feel like they'd all do really well on a playlist. It's just weird listening to them all back to back to back. I just feel like there's not enough variety for each song to feel unique, but we'll see if that there's still a few songs left, so we'll see if that changes as the album goes on. See, back to the whole lyrics thing. All they're saying is like mock, burn, spit on the cross or something. Like, I don't care. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like there's so much like better things you could say than just saying this thing like corny phrase. I don't care though. It's not like a make or break thing if I like an album or not. I will say the thing that this song specifically does compared to the other ones is I feel like it's a little bit more catchy because it has a lot of repetition in it in different parts with different lyrics, which I guess is something that the other songs haven't done so far. Okay. It's the end of that song, I guess. Into the Abysmal Gospel. Okay, so we're just getting thrown right into probably the best guitar tone I've ever heard. Excuse that thing, it serves no purpose, it doesn't even work. Oh my god! This might be the greatest guitar tone I've ever heard. Immediately the best song on the album. Okay. Listen, we still have like 5 more minutes of this song to listen to, but this is a very strong start. I love the way it transitioned into higher notes to kind of reintroduce the riff. Dude, okay, like I said, I love blast beats, but I don't think there's been a single song in this album, with the exception of Infernis, that hasn't had like 5 blast beat sections in it. Heavy on the whammy bar. Very heavy on the whammy bar, wow. That is getting its work in. I wonder how many strings they broke recording this song. That is... What is even going on? There's a... This is like overstimulation of the song. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Back into that tone though, it's so nice. And now we're into a circle pit immediately. And the blast beats are back. Okay, now a bit of a groove. Wow. The solo sections in this song are so good. Like, I love the singles for this album, but this might be my new favorite song. The guitar tone in the intro was so amazing. Of course, there's blast beats. I guess that's just in everything in this album. That solo was amazing. Per usual, we had Phil coming in out of nowhere. Very, very nice vocal highlight section here. I will say, again, it's starting to fall a little bit into that repetitive category, but I don't know. There's not. They've ran the blast beat thing into the ground, and that's bold coming from me because I love blast beats. But every single song has used blast beats in some capacity, and in some capacity, I mean a large capacity. Okay, now there's a nice groove to it. Very beautiful kicks. The guitar right here is very, like, it's got a groove to it that I really am enjoying. I'm liking, again, a little bit of guitar ambiance going on in the background that is adding a little bit, like, if it's just all low and heavy drums and heavy vocals, obviously it's going to mesh together really easily, so the guitar is giving it a little bit more effect. I think it stands out a little bit more because of that. I have like mini blast beats going on. Oh, little kick section. Back into that groove. Oh my god, we're gonna have to go back. The guitar just came in and it sounds so nice. Like, it's such a nice solo. Like, it would hold up in any category, like outside of deathcore. Alright, that's a very nice sounding guitar right there. I don't remember there being a huge, noticeable breakdown section in that song. I could be wrong. But other than that, I really don't have any complaints. That was an amazing song. I don't know. Might be my favorite on the album that we've heard so far. Hymns and Dissonance was a great song though, so it's really hard to say, but just there were so many factors that made that song stand out. And the more I've listened to this album, the more I've realized that Hymns and Dissonance doesn't really stand out that much, since like it just acts as a basis for every other song. All the blast beats that sounded cool in Hymns and Dissonance are now in every single song. All the cool vocal effects that he did in that song are now in half the other songs. Like, it was almost like, to me, it feels like it was released as a single to set the tone for the album, because the entire album just sounds like that song broken into different pieces. Okay, I'm next to Bedlam. Okay. Didn't see that coming. Okay, this song came in, like, maybe not as, suddenly as Hate Cult Ritual did, but, wow, that song came in very powerfully. Off to a very strong start. I'm just hoping it doesn't fall into the same repetitivity category that most of the other songs have. It also, I don't think, has checked off the blast beat check mark yet, so we'll see if we get, like, the 7th song in the album that uses blast beats in it. A nice kick right there. Like, the kicks have a nice groove going, kind of thing. Wow. Okay, I know I said a lot of songs weren't standing out, but this song, like, you can almost, like, dance to it. It has, like, it has such a nice groove going on in the back with the guitars. I don't think there's gonna be tabs to this. I was gonna say I want to go grab my 7-string and start playing this, but I don't think there's gonna be tabs for this album yet. I gotta listen to that section again. You can't put an ad in the middle of the song. Okay, well, listen, I'm not trying to turn down the meaning, but please put it, like, between songs or something. Okay. Somehow I still don't think the song was used blast beats. I didn't think it was possible for this album for a song to not have blast beats, but I guess this song was the breakthrough because instead of using the same blast beat thing going on, it replaced it with a really, really nice groovy feeling that's been continuing for a decent amount of the song. There's about a quarter left, so hoping for some sort of big finish here. Vocals came back in strong here. Okay. There's like 30 seconds left. Please go into a breakdown section. Give us something here. Okay. Whoa. There it is. Wow. I don't think that's my favorite song on the album. Just because I don't think... Like, it stood out. I loved the groovy feeling to it. But it did get a bit repetitive at times. Not as much as some other songs, but it could have been a little bit... Could have had a little bit more variety, but it certainly didn't ruin the song. I think generally it was the most fun song. I mean, Hateful Ritual and Abysmal Gospel are also both very fun, but the groove in this song has been unmatched for the entire rest of the album so far. So that made me enjoy that song quite a bit. We're down to the last two though, so Mammoth God's up next. Oh, instrumentals, okay. First I thought we had some like violin or something, but that's all guitar. I think. Wow. Those drums are sounding nice in this song. Just solely... It just sounds so good. That is... Like, just on the snare. That makes 7 out of 9 songs so far. Okay, silence. Something big's about to happen. I don't know. I think it's gonna come into a verse of some sort. Maybe a breakdown. But put your predictions in the comments. What's gonna happen after this quick moment of silence? Verse section. More blast beats. Man, the drum work on this album is great though. Like I know I've been talking about the blast beats a lot. I mean, for one though, just being able to play blast beats that consistently is really nice. But also there's been some very good sections here. Like I said, the snare blast in this song have been great. There's been some really good double kicks throughout this album. And of course the groove in the last song was great, but just so many blast beats. Does that make 2 songs in a row that we've gotten ads? Metal Blade's not gonna hear the end of this. I will be inserting a public comment on this ordeal. Ooh, something big's about to come in. They're building up to something. Why? I feel like that would have been such a good lead into like a breakdown or something, but it just went right back into I am the Mammoth God. Just like listen to how well this would have built up to like a breakdown. Like, you hear that, you're like, oh, some big breakdown section's about to come in, but nope. Ooh, okay, there's what I've been looking for. There's what I've been looking for. Let's go back a few seconds here. I'm not gonna talk for the entirety of the solo, and then I'll comment on it when it's over. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. With the high fry ice creams thing, you'll be just like casually listening to a song, and that high fry ice cream will come out of nowhere, and it will be the best part of the entire album that you ever heard. Where you're gonna end a solo with that? Like, that was the most amazing scream I've ever heard. I have to give that another listen. Like, that is exactly what I meant when I said a high fry scream will come out of nowhere and just sound absolutely killer. I haven't liked this song the most as far as the first few minutes go, but from the start of the solo onto where we have gotten so far, I'm really liking it. Another solo section, here we go. My bad. I thought it was over. Dude, that was a great solo. It felt like I could have seen that solo being like the early 2000s metalcore scene. My personal favorite era. That that was just such a nice solo. I don't know. I want to listen to that one more time. Like, if that was in D standard, which honestly it might be. Like, I know it's on a 7 string, but I don't know what tuning they use. But if that was in D standard, that was basically a Trivium solo. I love the way that sounded. I can't say it's my favorite song on the album because I didn't like the first half. But the entire second half, if the second half was the whole song, absolutely would be my favorite song on the whole album. That was incredible. Maybe when I get if I give some of these songs a second listen, their placements would change. I still think Abysmal Gospel is my favorite song, but also it's been a couple songs since I listened to it, so it's hard to say for sure. But in terms of guitar, it's got to go to Mammoth God. The last song was also good, but that was just a nice groovy feeling overall. One more to go though, and it's the longest song. Which either means it's going to be sad or it's going to be very, very, I guess powerful is the word, I don't know. Do you think longer songs, and they're usually pretty heavy in some way, shape, or form. Nice outro guitar. Of course. As you would expect. Thank you. Alright. Wow. Again, he comes in out of nowhere and drops the craziest screams. I will say, sometimes his screams get a little bit repetitive, but I did like the way that first one sounded. Okay, it seems like the tempo's very slightly changed here. That's 8 out of 10 songs. 8 out of 10 songs on this album had full blast beat sections in them. Okay, I was wrong. I have heard this section of the song before, I think. The deeper and deeper part sounds familiar. Okay. Going into a casual breakdown section there. Wow. That, it's not only a guttural, it's like a growl, but that's that's the best low scream you could ever ask for. Like, at first I was getting a little bit iffy with his breakdown because I felt like it was just the same thing over and over. But that is the greatest low scream I've ever heard. again, the high screams came and delivered, and the guitar in the back, again, it's not just giving some sort of bland riff, it's backing it up with good melodies, and it's staying creative. As much as I say that deathcore albums and a lot of these songs get repetitive, they still find ways in a lot of sections like this one to keep it fresh, and I like that. I love the isolated guitar. And this kind of checked both boxes. I said when it's a longer song, it's usually like the sad song or the heavy song. And so far, this has been both. Like, obviously, it's just death. Like, for people that don't usually listen to deathcore, it's just gonna sound like another deathcore song. But the lyrics are basically saying, no God hears you, no one's gonna save you, or whatever. And then obviously, if you listen to the guitar, there's emotion into it rather than just being, a normal solo of sorts. You can tell it's actually some sort of emotion going into it. So yeah, this song checked both boxes that I was kind of looking, or I guess I should say expecting there. The juxtaposition between the highs and the lows again goes right back into what I was saying. There's more emotion put into it. You could tell this song, like the other songs, have all really felt like just kind of that meaningless trying to be metal evil thing. But I love how this song actually has meaning and actually has emotion, is putting them together well. That was great. Again, like I said, this album has had a common trend of breaking silence or breaking breaks in songs. Like, that was kind of a break in the song, and it broke that with another section that you don't see coming, and it's a lot more powerful that way. In this case, I think he said nothing is real. So again, this song might be my favorite on the album. It's close. It's getting closer because this song actually feels like listenable lyrically. A lot of the times, with like the way the other songs are, it can get corny fast. This song has not been that way. Again, you can hear the guitar in the background. It's not just a bass riff. There's actually progression going on now, and it sounds good. So nice. Okay. It looks like it's gonna fade out into something now. I didn't want to interrupt that. That I wouldn't say it's my favorite deathcore solo because there's some that I really like, but it's way up there. Right? Because when it comes to solos, you can play fast, but it won't sound like much of anything, so you'll kind of just forget about it. There's some exceptions to that, like "And I Return to Nothingness" is one of my favorite solos of all time, and that solo is pretty much entirely just playing fast, but in a way that makes it sound like there's emotion behind it. This, you can tell, it's not just playing fast. There's some faster sections and a lot of slower sections, but you can tell there's meaning behind it, and it's not just a solo to be a solo. Wow, what a song. Like that that song was really nice because the rest of the album didn't feel like much of anything. Like it's like, wow, it sounds cool or whatever, but it doesn't feel like there's any motivation to make the song. This song was genuinely good. Lyrically, musically, it had heavier parts and it had slower parts, and all of them were executed perfectly. I'm gonna have to say it is my favorite song on the album because I feel like it had the most going for it. Every factor was good in this song. When it comes to pretty much every single other song on the list, they automatically lose because they lose at the lyric part. Um, and a lot of them lose at repetition. This song stood out so well. I do still think Mammoth God had my favorite solos, just in general, but in terms of, like, solos and how they impact a song, they had to have done that best in this song, because they actually fit. You could tell the solos were written to match the emotion. That is why this song works so well for me. Easily the best song on the album, in my opinion. Now, bringing it all together for an overall rating is it's a little difficult. You look at this list, and both the singles were great. I still will probably listen to Hymns and Dissonance more than regularly. Fortunately, I will say, and this is rare for a decent number of deathcore albums, this is definitely a no skip for me, but I don't see myself listening to it in full again. I might, right? But like I said, a majority of these songs are playlist songs where you're not listening to them all together. You're going to put it in a playlist with a bunch of other songs that's going to randomly play. Listening to all these back to back, it gets a little bit repetitive up until I would say the last like 3 songs. Once you get to the last 3 or 4 songs, it starts to get a little bit more unique and there's new elements being tested. but the first 6 or 7 songs are all pretty much the same song, with the exception of Infernis. They're all pretty much the same song. The only exception to that is like some of them have shorter blast beat sections. Some of them have different sounding solos. But the last batch of songs were all really good to me, even if a lot of the songs on the album were repetitive. So if I had to bring this whole album together for a number out of 10, I'd say I'd have to give this album probably an 8.2 out of 10. I think the main issue is really repetition. I would love for it to be higher, and honestly, if it was just like the singles and then these 4 songs, it probably would have been a 9. The problem was, a lot. It just got too repetitive too quick, and up until the last few, nothing felt unique. So I can't really give it more than an 8.5, and I think the reason it comes down from an 8.5 is just how useless the lyrics are in a majority of the songs. But I will say it is a very good album, and although I don't see myself listening to it in full again, I do see myself listening to all the songs again at some point, just not in album format, because I feel like it's too repetitive to do that. So 8.2, and I guess if you're asking for a solid number, 8 out of 10 is going to be my ranking for this album. Obviously, art and music is subjective, so that's not fact, but I can't give this more than like an 8.2, 8.3, just because of the prior mentioned reasons. But Nothing Is Coming For Us is one of the greatest deathcore songs I've ever heard, up there with the Pain Remains trilogy. It's just great. So let me know what you guys think if you made it this far. I know this has been an hour and 20 minutes, so if you've watched all 80 minutes of me talking about an album, then you successfully wasted your time, because you probably didn't gain much except obvious observations. But I had fun doing this, and this was a good way to get me to actually sit down and listen to a full album, like, without being distracted. I never use my phone except to look up the name of the Valley. I think that's the only time I actually use my phone. Right, usually if I'm listening to an album, even though I'll be trying to focus on it, I'll end up getting distracted and like listening to other things in the meantime. But I was fully in tune listening to this. That's why I was looking at nothing most of the time. Amazing album, but too repetitive from song to song. That's the only thing that really brings it down for me. Other than that, great album. And yeah, let me know if you guys want more stuff like this in the future. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you, because there probably will be more stuff like this in the future. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you all next time, and probably something similar.